Dear friends, how are you? Well, I welcome you all to this meditation session. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Muhammad, making it happen for me. And I would love to share my personal spiritual experiences and practices with you. And some techniques that I have learned over the years from all different spiritualists or spiritual scientists or yogis, mystics, Sufi mystics. And some of them, they were renunciates, like they were cut off the world and they would live in a small hut and just practice silence or just live simple. So I was first inspired by this energy when I was at the age of 12 or 13. And my elders, they used to listen to this. They asked me to read and sing a Sufi poetry kalam, which was written in my mother language, which is Punjabi. And this is how I channelized the divine energy and the Sufi mystic kalam through me, even though at that time I did not understand much of it, what I was singing, but I related with that. I was in tune with that energy. So, this is how I was inspired to be on the spiritual path. And then I became a seeker, and I used to go out with my books, and even at night I would go out, look at the moon and stars, and enjoy the nature. And I would ask 3 questions: who I am, why I am here, and what is my purpose? What is this all about? I wanted to know. I was curious. So at the same time, I was very observant, looking for things, asking questions, and spend some time in isolation, solitude. I would not mix up with a lot of other children's, just occasionally. And this is how it started. So then eventually I was able to, as I went along, I went to school and college, and at the same time I would be searching for those people who are on the path of mysticism. And I would go to them. I would sit in their company, and being receptive, I would ask questions and all that. So this is how it started, actually. So it's an amazing journey. It takes a lot of discipline and focus and a lot of cleansing, for sure, mentally, emotional blockages, psychological blockages. And so then I met a teacher who in New York City, who taught me yoga Kundalini yoga energy techniques. And I wanted to know uh, different practices. I was curious what is the philosophy of different practices like yoga, Buddhism, shamanism, and I used to go to the workshops. I even visited an interfaith seminary in New York City for a couple of years to study the philosophy and to know what is the mystical essence or common from all different backgrounds. So I found it very, very interesting that all the sources, they come from the same source. So, and it gave me a diversity to know that people from all different backgrounds and cultures, they share so many values together, they share so many things together. And humanity has been my first mantra ever. I was focused on humanity, even being as a child. And so just it worked out that way. But so when I started to practice yoga and chakras, Kundalini energy techniques, my teacher and my friend, he's my teacher and a friend, he used to call me the same, and he offered me a set of beads, and I was hesitant. I said, no, I don't want to count the name of the divine. It's like limited, and I just want to. But then eventually, when I was just prepared, and he offered me, and I took it. I said, what I'm gonna get from these beads? He said, nothing. I said, what? Nothing? So he said, where would you get nothing from? I said, from nobody. He said, good. Nobody is perfect. Nobody loves you. Nobody is God. So I got it, because the one who doesn't have body is the pure consciousness and is God. So I realize I'm nobody in a body, connecting with the higher source. So this is something that, this is how it started. So it put me on a search of that nobody. So I started to practice meditation with these with chakras and all that, and repetition of the different mantras. I wanted to connect with my inner source, with my eternal self, higher self, that the way I can connect with the universe. And it was such a beautiful practice. I did that practice for 11 years, and then eventually I stopped working on those beads, because I realized that pulse was created within myself, a vibe that was repeating that mantra by itself, So then at the age of 28, I in my country, Punjab, I am from Pakistan, and I had built a dera in the wilderness out of the villages, populated area, where I practiced silence. And that thought came to me. It was such a powerful thought, came to me, that I need to practice silence. And one day I was sitting and this happened, and I went to that dera, that place, and I started to practice meditation, and I was initiated with that silence. So I remained silent for 108 days, and amazing experience. I wish I could shut off all the senses, but I was able to actually shut one sense, which is this one, and the other senses, they became very sharp. People, could not look into my eyes. It was, I could hear better, I could touch things, sense things much better. But I realized that I got connected with the inner source in such a way that I felt my mind was like an ocean, and the surface of the ocean there was a lot of turbulence, like noises and fish, or like what would I say? Turbulence, waves. But I went deep down to the bottom of the ocean, and I found peace, tranquility, harmony, and so on. So the same ocean, there was stillness at the bottom, at the depth, but at the surface there was a noise. Life was very active. So I relate this with my mind stuff, that I knew now how to dive deep down into the bottom of my mind's ocean and enjoy the stillness and ecstasy. So it's amazing experience, and different practices. I was vegan for 12 years, and in this sense that I wanted to be animal free, but then I started to judge people and teach them, why are you eating animal? You should eat this and that and that. And then I realized that I should not do that, because it doesn't matter what people eat. It matters who they are, and everyone have to decide this by themselves, who I am to tell somebody what to do and what not to do. So there's no should. So really, this is something that I learned from that veganism for 12 years. I'm still vegetarian. I never liked meat or anything like that ever since I was a child. So, and what else? Then I started to teach in New York City at Mind, Body and Power Center, Learning Alliance, and I went to a lot of workshops, from all different backgrounds, as I already mentioned that. So actually, my love and passion to serve humanity and do something and share the wisdom and knowledge with humanity has been my passion, and I had been doing it. I'm learning at the same time I'm teaching. So I don't think there is some such thing as just teacher. Teacher is a student, and a student is a teacher at the same time. We learn from each other. But a beautiful inner work. I love to do it. it's such a it's something indescribable when you go beyond your energies. Thank you so much for listening.